Hey y'all, this video is a long time coming, but I wanted to go ahead and chime in my thoughts about this whole weave versus natural debate. And the reason why I particularly wanted to do it was because I felt like I needed to kind of have my coming out video. For all of y'all that have not seen me in a couple of years, it has been since the last time that I made a video. I have gotten divorced and I am in a new relationship, um, poising for my second marriage and hopefully my final marriage, or prayerfully my final marriage. But the reason why I wanted to make this video today at this point in time is because I have been getting into so many online like debates and commentary, challenges about my views about weave, and I was just like, you know what, let me go ahead and just spark that camera back up and do, my whole take on everything. First of all, let me say before anything, I was an avid weave wearer. When I say avid weave wearer, you couldn't catch me on any day of the week that ended with day that I was not wearing weave. Um, I There were lies that I sold myself. There were lies that I sold people. But the truth of the matter was is that I was ashamed of what my natural hair looked like. And this is it. This is my natural hair. I am naughty by nature. Knotty. I am nappy by nature. Nappy. And my hair it typically is short. The longest length I did have, truthfully, was after I stopped wearing weave. Because y'all, I wore weave for a very long time. If I wasn't I was mostly getting it braided up. But if I wasn't getting it braided up, I would have the sew-ins. I've never done a full wig. I've never had a wig, but I would do the sew-ins often. I did the quick weaves a couple of times in my life. I think even for my wedding, it was a quick weave. So I've done quick weaves a couple of times, but I have never had a full wig, so I can't talk to you about that experience with lace fronts and the whole nine. But I've been wearing weave or some type of weave. I had been up until 6 years ago. I had been wearing some type of weave for almost about 16 years. So from the time I was 16 to about the time I was 32 or 31, I had been wearing weave. So at any rate, my hair was very big when I took it out. It wasn't like free from 106 and Park big, but it was pretty big. But I want to go over a couple of myths and misconceptions and even lies that I sold myself and other people. For one, I sold the illusion or sold the lie that I was proud of myself. Yeah, I did. I told people for years wearing weave is not about me not liking what I look like. Because I love what I look like. I love me. I think I'm beautiful and I think I'm attractive and I think I'm a hot girl. But the truth of the matter was is that I was ashamed. And for all of you that say, well, you should be because your hair is short or whatever you're going to say, you can say it now. That doesn't bother me as much as knowing the reality of what weave does and what weave can do and what it has done to offshift my priorities, to it started out poisoning my even own children. So that's number one. The whole lie that I loved myself and appreciated myself. No, I didn't, and I couldn't because how could I if I wouldn't even show who I look like? Like I had to hide what my hair looked like and what the texture was, and the thought of somebody knowing that, it frightened me. It frightened me. I had to make sure I kept the illusion up. Weave is an illusion. It's fake. You can say whatever you want about switching it up and protective styles and all of that. It's to be fake. And I was not interested in people seeing the real me. Number two, the fact that people think that people still think in this day and age, in 2016, that weave is harmless. A lie. This is a lie. I myself was hospitalized. Get it? Not a trip to the doctor and a little diagnosis made and sent home with a little bit of antibiotic. I was hospitalized because I had a bad reaction to a chemical that is used to make the weft on tracks. It got into my bloodstream. My face was swollen. My lips were about 4 times the size as they are now. I know for some of y'all, they're like, oh, that looked good. No, it didn't. I looked sick. A rash developed all around my hairline. Of course, the weave had to be taken out. And I remember just thinking when I was at the hospital with the doctor, just thinking, well, I hope they won't do that here, because I didn't want even him to see that. Even as he was telling me what this had done to my skin and to my body, I was hoping and praying that they would not have to take the weave out there at the hospital. But I was put on enough antibiotics and enough steroids that once the swelling came down, I was released. So it wasn't an overnight visit, but they did have to admit me. They were running drug screens for me, y'all, because this was at the time when those bath salts were hot down here, and I was a lot thinner. Well, I won't say a lot thinner, but I was thinner. I was extremely dieting. And it was hot, like I said. So they thought that I had some bad reaction and had overheated, and they were drug screening me heavy, y'all. They were like, oh, send her back for another urine test. Like, the first one came back clear. No, send her back again. Let's get some blood work in here. But at any rate, it came down to the dye used to color the tract of the weave, that the weft. It was had gotten to my scalp, had gotten to my bloodstream, and I had a bad reaction. So that's personally why I know it's not harmless. So let's stop saying that nobody gets hurt by it. Yeah, people get hurt by it. People are having all types of alopecia and all types of loss of edges and all types of issues. And like I said, this got into my bloodstream. And had it not been for my sister, who insisted, she came to my house and she saw how bad everything had gotten, and she was like, Courtney, we're going to the hospital. And I was like, no, I was so embarrassed. And again, y'all, I had, how they say women's intuition is real? It's very real. I had a feeling that it was the weave, and I wanted to avoid going to the hospital because I didn't want them to have to cut it out. I was like, I had just literally gotten this weave done maybe about 3 days ago. And it was a nice little curly, wavy do. When I tell y'all I looked good, I thought I was looking good. I had just started feeling myself with these compliments. And of course, y'all, it was human. I spent money on it. So I just did not want to lose this investment. But it was harmless, and my priorities were so off. So that brings me into number 3. It is upsetting priorities for our future generations. This is why I stopped, because my daughter, who was 3, going on 4, but was 3 at the time, said she wanted to be pretty like me. And she went like this. Pretty like me. And I knew that if I don't stop this madness, she's going to grow up thinking that that's what pretty and beautiful is. And it's not. I told her what matters is what's going in the head, not what's on it. But it's hard for me to preach that if I'm not showing that example. If I'm not living that, she wouldn't believe that. And right now, she may change whatever hair she has. And I have a daughter and a son. She may change her hair, but right now her father has decided to lock her hair. And I don't think she would have that same appreciation for it. Now, of course, she goes to school and she's exposed and she sees other kids with different hairstyles. And yeah, she has said before, she likes wigs and she thinks that those are, that hair is pretty. She still thinks, she still talks about when my hair was long and that I look nice and pretty with that. But it would be so much harder for me to tell her to get her hair dreaded or to enjoy her natural style if I were not rocking my natural style. So as I used to wear a weave for every day that ended with day, it has not been a day that I have worn weave since when she told me that. I took my weave out literally that very night, and I have not worn it again since. So this is a message to my avid weave wearers too. You can get over it. You do not have to live for weave. Weave is not really that hitting. It's not that hot. And you talk about switching up. I'm online all the time. I'm talking to people and talking about, I like to switch up styles. And, it's about switching it up. And I slay. And y'all, just for real. I promise you, you read a book, you're gonna be slaying. You you get something else in that head. You're gonna be just as slaying, and that's what really surprised me a lot. Like the women that wear weaves, they're so beautiful. Like I'm just like you would look so beautiful without that. And it used to get to the point where I used to get uncomfortable when guys used to tell me how much better I would look without weave. I used to get uncomfortable. I used to be like, oh my gosh, they're just saying that because they don't know how my hair really looks. But what they were saying at that point in time, and I wasn't wise enough to realize is that they didn't care how my hair looked because I had attracted them so much. And even in that department, it I was able to, be engaged again, about to be married again with natural hair. And I had other suitors before um, I met my fiance. I had boyfriends before who, they had never dated a natural girl or they had always dated a natural girl. I had both. And I was still with, you know, these dudes because it was me. And so that's what weave is all about. It's about hiding who you really are. And there's no reason to do that. So that's all I'm gonna say. I know this went over what I wanted to do originally, but that's all I'm gonna say.